Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we'll be looking at the sum aggregate function. The sum aggregate function is used to return the total value of a specified numeric column. So the column has to be numeric and it returns a cumulative value. That means it will add up all the numeric values in that column and output a single result. So this is the syntax or how you would specify the sum aggregate function inside a T-SQL query. So this is how you would do it. You start with the keyword select followed by the sum, and then in parentheses you specify the column you want to perform the sum aggregate function on. The column should be a numeric column that contains numeric rows or records, and then the from is where you specify the table name. So let's head over to SQL Server Management Studio, where we will make a connection to the SQL Server and experiment with using the sum aggregate function. I've got SQL Server Management Studio opened and I have already connected to the server and database. The database we will be using for this lecture is the AdventureWorks 2014. So let's open up the new query window by clicking on this new query tab here and select the database, which is the AdventureWorks database from the drop-down list. Okay, this is where we'll write the query. The schema we're going to use is the HR schema. The table we're going to use is the employee table. So what I'm going to do here with the query, I'm going to write a query that will check the total number of hours all the employees have taken as sick leave. This will be a cumulative amount. That means it will add up all the sick hours for all the employees and give a single value. So let's go ahead and write the query for that. To begin, we'll do a select. And then the from. We'll specify the schema first. The schema is HR. And then a dot. Then you're given a list of tables. The table we want is the employees table. Now that we've got the schema and the table, let's go ahead and pick out the column we need. So after the select keyword, we need to specify the function, which is sum. And then in between the parentheses is where we'll specify the column we want to use for the sum aggregate function. We want to use this column here called sick leave hours. So let's type that in. Sick. Oh, I've got it here listed, so I just click on that. Sick leave hours, and then we close the parentheses, and then I want to specify a label, an alias for the title for the column when the output brings us a result. So I'll do that using the as. AS is used to specify an alias. So what I'll call it sick hours, total sick hours. All right, enclosing the alias in brackets, preserves the way I've written it, so when it outputs, it will be labeled exactly as I have specified. Okay, so that's the query, and then you end that with a semicolon. So this is a query. I'm selecting the sick leave hours using the sum aggregate function, and then I've created an alias with the as, and this is the name that will show up in the output when I execute this query. This column here comes from the employee table, which belongs to the human resources table, which is this table, this schema, and this table. The column is this one here, sick leave hours. So let's execute that. So this is a cumulative value. So this is all the hours all the employees have had off sick together. It's added up all the sick hours for all the employees in the company. So this is the total. That's how you would use a sum aggregate function. In this lecture, we had a look at the sum aggregate function, which is used to return the total cumulative value of a specified numeric column. It only works on the numeric columns because it adds the values. And this is the way we would specify using the sum aggregate function inside a T-SQL query. Thank you for your time. Please let me know if you have any questions, and try and practice using your own examples and changing some of the values. Thank you, and bye for now.